Hi, this is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this fun geometric pattern in Photoshop. If you'd like to check out my Ultimate Pattern Maker Toolkit for Photoshop, which includes all of my Photoshop actions and templates, I will leave a link in the description below. Let's go ahead and create a new file. For this, I'm going to use the dimensions of 7200 pixels by 7200 pixels, resolution set to 300 pixels per inch, color mode is RGB color, background content set to transparent, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. When designing in Photoshop, I like to use a guide, so I'm going to go to View, Guide, New Guide Layout. I'm going to set my columns to 4 and my rows to 4 as well, clicking on OK. I'm going to divide my canvas into 4 parts, so I'm going to use this marquee tool and just highlight over this top left corner, and then I'm going to fill that with my foreground color. Currently it's on blue. I'm going to get it back to my default color, hitting D. And then to fill it with your foreground color, you can go to Edit, Fill. Here you can select foreground color, clicking on OK, and then we will go ahead and deselect those pixels, Command or Control D. With this layer, I'm just going to rename it to Object 1, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to convert this to a Smart Object. I like designing with Smart Objects. That way, if you duplicate something and make an edit to that smart object, it will be reflected throughout all the different instances. So we're going to duplicate this 3 more times. So I'm going to go Command or Control J until we have 4 instances here. We'll select this second one. We'll bring it to this corner here. I'm going to use the Move tool to get my align options here. So we're going to bring it to that right side. We'll select this one here. We're going to bring this one down to the bottom, and then we'll select this one. We'll go to the bottom and to the right. So we've laid out our design here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my guides just to clean it up here. So we'll View Guides, Clear Guides. And then let's click into that smart object here. Zooming out, Command or Control with the minus key. Let's go ahead and remove the guides here. View Guides, Clear Guides. And then I'm just going to turn off the visibility here. It's just a nice placeholder. And then let's actually bring up a new guide layout. So let's go to View Guides, New Guide Layout. And I'm going to stick with the 4 columns and 4 rows. And so now I'm going to create the basis of our pattern. I'm going to use the marquee tool here to help me out. And here at the top, you want to make sure this addition one is selected. And so I'm just going to start by selecting this top row. And then I'm going to add onto it here. And then I'm going to select 2 more squares here. And then we're just going to create that kind of winding shape here. And so now I'm going to fill it with my foreground color. You can also do this with the shortcut keys. Option Delete for Mac users, that would be Alt Backspace for PC, and that just fills in our foreground color. And then to deselect those pixels, we're going to go Command or Control with D. So we have the basis of our shape here. I'm going to go ahead and save this smart object, which is Command or Control S. And then let's jump into our template here. Currently, they're all facing the same way. And so we are going to make a little edit. But before that, I do that, I am going to jump back into my smart object here. And I'm going to actually turn on this background layer. We're going to set it to 50%. And then we are going to save this, Command or Control S. We'll jump back into our template document here. Whenever you are going to manipulate your smart object, in this case, we are going to flip it, but you want to make sure that your smart object fills its entire space because we want it to rotate about its entire space and not just this area here. So let's use our Move tool. We'll select this top layer here, and I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, and I'm going to flip this horizontally. And then I'm also going to do that one more time, Edit, transform, and then I'm also going to flip it vertically. So this is going to be the basis of our pattern. And then let's go ahead and do that same transformation to this one as well. Transform, flip horizontal, edit, transform, flip vertically, and we have our pattern. So the smallest unit of this pattern is actually this top portion here. I like to design in a square, and so it does repeat again here at the bottom. But depending on your preference, you can design it in whichever way you like. If you like the smallest unit, then you can crop it down here, or you can keep it as the square and have it repeat twice. That works as well. So let's go ahead and zoom out, Command or Control with the minus key. Let's see how this pattern looks. We'll go to View, Pattern Preview, and then we can zoom out some more, Command or Control with the minus key, and you can just kind of see how this pattern repeats. So let's go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go to my patterns panel here. If you don't see your patterns panel, go to Window, selecting patterns here, and then I'm just going to hit this plus icon. You can give your pattern a name, clicking on OK, and it will save a pattern. What I noticed here is that I do need to turn off the visibility of this layer. Let's go ahead and save this, Command or Control S to save it. And then we can save our pattern here again as well. So let's turn off the pattern preview mode here. Let's just group these layers, Command or Control G. I'm going to click on New Layer, and then let's bring out our pattern here. Let's zoom in, Command or Control with the plus key. And then let's give it some color. So I'm going to select a solid color adjustment layer. We'll go FFF for white. I'm going to bring it down to be our background layer, and then let's duplicate that layer, Command or Control J. We can select one of these different colors here. Maybe we select a pink color. I'm going to bring it to the top of that pattern layer here, and then we will right click, creating a clipping mask, and that will give us the ability to change the color of our pattern layer. So I'm going to double click in. Let's try scaling it down to 25% just so we can see our repeating pattern. And so working with these color adjustment layers makes it really easy to change out the color if you want to. So let's test this first one that we had that opacity turned on. And what that does is it kind of creates this two-tone effect. So if I change a color here, it will automatically change it there. So in our case, it was an accident, but in this case, it can actually be beneficial if you want to create something like this with a two-tone pattern effect. Let's go ahead and size our pattern back to 100%. And then if we want to save this as a swatch outside of Photoshop, I just go to File, Save a Copy, give it a name, and then we'll go on the computer here. And then under File Format, we'll just select JPEG. You can choose between JPEG or PNG, how you want to save your file. And then we'll just click on Save. Under Image Options, I typically leave it just at a 10 maximum quality here, and then we'll just go ahead and click on OK. We'll go ahead and select these three layers. We'll group them, Command or Control G to group it, and then we'll turn back on our template here. What's nice about this template is we used it creating smart objects, so you can always go in and edit this smart object to create something new, a different kind of pattern based on this repeat type. Thank you for watching this video where we created this fun geometric pattern in Photoshop. Be sure to check out my Ultimate Pattern Maker Toolkit, which includes all of my Photoshop actions and templates for Photoshop. I'll leave a link to that toolkit in the description below. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. This is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. See you next time.